Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between TeRRoR and Hitman. This game taking place here on Northern Isles. Over here on the bottom left hand side of the map we have TeRRoR spawning as this is going to be the light blue undead. Meanwhile over here on the top right we have Hitman spawning as the green orc. Surprised that the colors are not red and blue in this matchup. Let me double check one thing for you guys real fast. Okay, yeah, so even though this is not a BattleNet ladder matchup, since the colors are not red and blue, you're not able to choose your colors in BattleNet games, but somehow there are no observers, and I don't see that this is part of any tournament. So I'm really curious as to why these two players decided to play against each other, and what we will be expecting here. Hitman, Hitman, part of Team Dust from the USA, probably the most active WarCraft 3 clan in the US, still participating in tournaments, getting to see a lot of the folks out there back at DreamHack Anaheim. If you guys, I've been talking about DreamHack Anaheim so much, but I guess that was the last major in-person event right before the whole entire COVID lockdown shut down pretty much the world. It's funny to think about it now, but back then a lot of the Chinese players who were originally invited couldn't make it because there was a travel ban coming in from China into the US. Now that travel ban seems to be not accepting anyone from the US at all. But with that said, I've done my part. I've been part of the clinical trials for COVID-19, and try to get a vaccine. I think I got a vaccine and not placebo, since I personally did spike a bit of a fever. But one day of soreness, and now I am back. That was a couple weeks ago. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. Hitman going for his typical Blade Master in this 1v1 matchup. Grunt going to be following up straight behind here, as we now see a Crypt Lord coming in from TeRRoR. But Grunt gonna just go ahead and try and engage now, getting in some damage straight up on that Ogre Warrior. I liked that play, that little bit of micro by Hitman, allowing the Grunt to attack the Ogre Warrior and then move during his own cooldown to try and get a little bit more damage. Meanwhile, the Crypt Lord down across over here, summoning ghouls, and all of these carrion beetle skeletal minions are making their rounds out, and TeRRoR is using the Crypt Lord, even though the level 2 and level 3 carrion beetles were significantly nerfed, or rather weakened. And I really want to know when nerfed actually became part of. Yeah, I know that it comes from the Nerf gun. Thank you very much, Arya. My daughter is trying to tell, the root origin of the word Nerf is because of a Nerf gun. I just want to know when that actually became a part of the human vernacular or the English vernacular to express something, kind of like saying, oh, that's a Kodak moment. I'm probably already aging myself, and then transitioning into that's a GoPro moment, right? Just when that the root origins of words, and when all of a sudden it becomes popular, as we see TeRRoR now moving around with a very large number, a very wide army of summoned units, these carrion beetles and skeletal warriors getting in a bit of damage here, as the Blade Master perhaps going to try and focus down a ghoul or two. Scroll of Speed going after that ghoul. One more shot should do it. Is going to be able to get there. Scroll of Speed, and it does get that critical strike down. So getting that critical strike over Windwalk early, but that is going to be a problem if the Blade Master doesn't get to level 2. If it doesn't have level 2, it's not going to have Windwalk to break free from those surrounds that are very, very easy for the undead army to execute if the undead army has a large number of units, just as TeRRoR has right now. Blade Master now looking to back up here. A lot of healing salves, a lot of replenishment potions. Greetings from the Adriatic Sea, Croatia. Beautiful, beautiful vacation, COVID-free. Just like back during the bubonic plague, if you are on a self-isolated island, that is perhaps one of the best places to be. Speaking of bubonic plague, well, unfortunately, I need to switch over to the night elf side or orc side to be able to spot here. And there is a beautiful, beautiful Blade Master Windwalk push, and the Blade Master currently still in a little bit of problems. Is he going to be able to break free? Yes, he does. Uses that Windwalk in order to escape, but that Windwalk push to save one of those grunts. I'm sure that grunt very, very happy to stay alive. Yeah. Talk about things going from bad to worse a little bit. And what is this? The Blade Master doesn't realize there was a sentry ward. They're losing one of his heals once again, and now being forced to try and engage too. California having its first case of bubonic plague in 5 years. So things just go from bad to worse for California. For all of you guys wondering about the temperature here, since I was complaining about it earlier, I think it got up to 104 or 106 in the official temperature for my city. And remember, this is right by, like, I'm less than 5 miles from the ocean, and that translates to about 41 degrees Celsius for anyone who, well, uses, metric as opposed to imperial. All right, in comes the damage here. Shadowhunter comes across, and there is a great hex. However, 6 beetles able to push and surround that Shadowhunter fairly quickly. Blade Master could be in trouble trying to escape, down to 87 hit points. And once more, the Blade Master and Hitman, known for using every bit of his hit points on his heroes, Blade Master escapes at 181 hit points. Now, the Blade Master of Hitman gets in and out of dangerous situations. It does feel like the Blade Master of Hitman ends up falling a little bit more often, but because Hitman is willing to, well, go for those a little bit more risky maneuvers, things do get changed up. All right, Ethereal, wait. Hold on, does it switch colors if I do this? Oh, wow, it does switch the top. All right, so I guess if I keep, if I switch the replay vision here, it actually switches the location on the top here. That does mean I'm not going to be able to see the Blade Master, but at least, well, Hitman will be on the right and TeRRoR will be on the left, so I'll go ahead and just keep that there. All right, learning the interface. Maybe there were new patch notes. I think I had asked to be able to just swap those. It would be preferable if I actually could keep vision on Hitman, as well. The Windwalking Blade Master would not show up any longer. Anyways, as we are making our rounds out over here to the top right. Yes, Arya. All right, coming back down across here. Crypt Lord sitting at level 3. Death Knight sitting at level 1. Blade Master going to go ahead and go after the Teskar warriors across here, as we're going to see the Shadowhunter now get to level 2. All right, so not very aggressive play coming in from either side. No one really setting up any sort of, well, Gold 9 expansion. Thank you for the subscription. Definitely going to help at least pay for the air conditioning bill. Yeah. Currently going on since everyone is, well, working from home. Blade Master back off to the north here, just still doing a little bit of scouting here, and I don't really see what the strategies are going to be. We do see a Tauren totem down. Warmill is getting up that fortified armor upgrade, and we are already sitting at Fortress getting up a Tauren chieftain. Meanwhile, back on the other side, Undead is sitting at tier 3 as well, training up the Lich to round out the Undead Tri heroes, as we are getting up Destroyer form upgrades as well. So everything looking pretty normal at this point and stage in the game, as the Shadowhunters and Blade Master still wandering around and about. We are going to see the Crypt Lord sitting at level 4. Blade Master going to try to come across here, perhaps get some damage on or steal a little bit of experience, but the units do back off in time. Blade Master is sitting right there, sitting at level 3, and, well, you never want to be behind in terms of experience going up against Undead, as the amount of hero nuking just adds up very quickly. There goes the Impale, and all of a sudden the Shadowhunter completely in trouble. There is trying to be a Windwalk push, but instead of pushing it out, it looked like TeRRoR purposely made a little bit of extra room in that surround during that time, and by doing so, the Blade Master didn't really push that Shadowhunter out of that position. I don't know if TeRRoR did that on purpose, but if TeRRoR did, that was a brilliant move right there to, well, keep that Shadowhunter still kind of surrounded with a loose surround, making room for the Blade Master inside, as well as that Shadow Hunter there. Shadow Hunter falls at level 2. Tauren Chieftain now back out onto the field. We're looking at 42 supply compared to 45. And while this macro style of play, oh so deadly, as we now need to get some Spirit Walkers to help deal with these carry-on beetles. Carry-on beetles, 275 hit points, as opposed to what was it, like 3? They almost had the power of a ghoul, or were stronger than a ghoul before, as the destroyers are now once more on the move. Shadow Hunter should be about halfway resurrected. Well, 3/4 of the way resurrected now. Tauren Chieftain now back out onto the field, but we're going to see the undead now putting pressure onto the orc base. We do have fortified armor on those burrows. That is incredibly important when dealing with the destroyers that are currently up in the air. Spirit Walkers are getting trained, as well as we're looking at, well, what is happening here. This is a fast pressure onto Hitman, and Hitman may not be able to stay here very easily. There goes a couple of disenchants, taking down all of those units, as the orc burrows are now starting to fight back. Peons trying to jump inside safe places, as the destroyers are, well, still able to do a large amount of damage, and there goes an Impale. Frost Nova across a couple of grunts. We see the damage is going to add up. Spirit Link, Healing Wave, trying to save all of these units, but Hitman is in serious trouble as a Stomp goes down. Level 2 now on the Tauren Chieftain. Faster movement speed, as Book of the Dead now being used, but quickly disenchanted by Hitman as well. Very fast movement right there. Meanwhile, there goes another Stomp to try to finish off more units here, as the Spirit Walkers are looking to back away. Grunts could end up getting taken out. 38 supply compared to 44, as new Orc Burrows are getting added in as well. Destroyers, what is happening here? There is no easy way to actually deal damage to any of those air units, those destroyers, as they are currently magic immune. Blade Master now continuing to fight back as well. Shadow Hunter needing to use that range damage. We're going to see the Tauren Chieftain fighting in the very far back here, as the units are still adding back up all of that damage. Orc Burrows, well, the main defense here to try and stop any of this pressure. 2 destroyers are currently out in play right now. Blade Master, do we have an Orb of Lightning? No. Oh, yes, Orb of Lightning on the Blade Master. Should perhaps be going after some of those units, as an Impale hits all 3 heroes and the entire Orc army at once. Purge now going down as well. Blade Master absorbing a lot more damage. Blade Master only sitting at level 3 after all this time, as the Death Knight is at level 3 as well. Shadow Hunter with level 2 Healing Wave, trying to keep more units alive. Going to be using that mana. Another Healing Wave should be coming in momentarily. Barracks, no repairs on that Barracks, as that Barracks is going to fall, and well, you're going to be limited on all of your units here. Peon now trying to make its run out. Where is it trying to go? Trying to head back off to the north, perhaps trying to set up an expansion during this time, but that is not going to work either. 34 supply compared to 49. A Hitman feeling terrified of TeRRoR at this point, as TeRRoR is completely controlling the pacing of this game, taking down one of the main production buildings for Hitman. And, well, the Orc army cannot live off of units from the Tauren Totem alone. Well, I may have to take that back, as the Tauren Totem now training up actual Tauren. TeRRoR squad greater than the Hitman. That does seem to be the case right now as well. Hitman using this opportunity to clear out a difficult creep camp, but he may end up getting creep jacked here, and he may end up paying for it with a loss of a couple more units. Blade Master sitting at level 4. Units now trying to back away. Scroll of Speed, however, a stun from the Magnetar Reaver causing problems. Magnetar, well, Blade Master, I cannot track him, as the ethereal Spirit Walker trying to stay alive. The Destroyers will be able to deal bonus damage, but also the Shadow Hunter's Healing Wave does some extra healing, as well as the fighting is getting underway. All right, Bestiary trying to be rebuilt now. No ensnares yet, as we see a couple of disenchants go down. Carry-on Beetle still right there. We're going to see a little bit of damage getting added in. Tauren now out onto the field. The Tauren effective against those ghouls, but the Destroyers are going to be able to eat through them pretty quickly as well. Crypt Fiends are getting added in onto the fight. Bestiary needs to finish being trained. The Tauren now trying to back up here, as the Tauren Chieftain perhaps, well, going to get impaled once more. Not looking good at all. Healing Wave continuing to try and bounce around and heal more units. Tauren is in that front line. More damage being dealt here, as the Tauren quickly gets Frost Nova and gets taken out. But the, well, ethereal form, Resurrection, was not ethereal, the Resurrection coming in from the Spirit Walker's Ancestral I'm just being able to bring that back up. All right, Cryptlord getting healed. Tauren Chieftain in a little bit of trouble, down to 149 hit points. Has Spirit Link and gets a little bit of healing wave for extra good measure. All right, 42 supply compared to 62. TeRRoR is, well, still holding the advantage in terms of overall supply as another Spirit Walker gets taken down. Continuing the fight once more. Destroyers trying to finish off this Tauren here. Going to be able to do exactly that. I don't believe we have. Nope, we could have another resurrection here in just a moment. As well, the Cryptlord is going to go ahead. A Kodo Beast is going to stay alive. No, it does not. At 47 hit points, it gets taken out. As well, we are looking at TeRRoR with an additional expansion still operating down here. Economic advantage belonging to TeRRoR. Hero experience belonging to TeRRoR as well. Actually, no, pretty close, but we are almost level 5 on that Cryptlord. Making our way back down to the south here. Going after, perhaps this Magnetar Reaver will be able to drop a very powerful item indeed. Shadow Hunter is right behind there as well. Tauren Chieftain needs to get a little bit of mana. This Magnetar Reaver absorbing a large bit of damage as we are looking at, well, I believe a Helm of Valor was the item dropped. All right, so far though, Cryptlord still sitting at 4-8, 4 destroyers in the air, but there are still bestiaries being trained up. We need to see some sort of troll bat riders or something to deal with those destroyers. The destroyers have really been picking on the entire orc army, being able to finish off many of those units. Kodo Beast now out as well. We are going to go back into, well, the normal mode here as the destroyers are going to find this and, well, get some damage onto that Kodo Beast. Kodo Beast also taking a Frost Nova as well, getting slowed up. That's exactly what he didn't want to see. We do see a Crypt Fiend getting a trade, and, well, a destroyer could also be lost as well. So trading a Kodo Beast for a Crypt Fiend and a Destroyer, not bad there, but he needs to get a lot more battles that way in order for it to be effective. All right, Peons coming over to repair. 3 Peons, however, not going to be able to do it enough as the damage is now adding in. Blademaster in that front line. He does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. We're going to see a little bit of an engagement. Blademaster absorbing a little bit too much damage, needs to back away. 2 Taurens, 2 Spirit Walkers, and a Tauren Chieftain about to make its way back over, as the Crypt Fiends and the Obsidian statues now retreat back once more. Without the Bestiary, no access to Troll Bat Riders, and now, well, we're looking at Hitman trying to retrain that up once more. 46 supply compared to 65. Economic advantage is heavy. 6 minutes of mining left in the main gold mines. Meanwhile, the expansion has, well, 12 minutes of mining, or it's what, 13 minutes of mining to go, and things are just going to go from bad to worse here. All right, that's going to go drop back down. Tauren Chieftain does not get a stomp down in time. Tauren Chieftain should get the stomp down. Why doesn't he? He is trying to use a Scroll of Speed. There's the stomp, and in order to get away, there's another Scroll of Speed down to 120 hit points as that Tauren Chieftain is off to the races. That faster movement speed from that Scroll of Speed plus that Endurance aura, once it wears off, will get him away from that battle. But things have just gone from bad to worse continually as TeRRoR, well, not trying to press his advantage too hard. He knows that his opponent doesn't have an expansion yet and knows that he can force fights at his neck of the woods. Coming back around, you see 5 destroyers in the air. This is something that you have not seen, or I haven't seen recently. So many destroyers currently being invested as, well, we are looking at Hitman using that tiny Great Hall to set up an expansion. All right, here comes into another engagement. Death Knight now trying to put pressure here as well. Destroyers are there. It looks as though, no, he's going to go after, make sure if there's an expansion, sees that there is in fact an expansion right there, and going to finish off some of those units. All right, destroyers are on the move. Tauren doesn't want to fight right there. Blademaster going to get into that front spot. Obsidian statue is in the location here as the carrion beetles doing what they do best right now, and that is going to be a lot of just harassment. Beetles making their way. Oh yeah, the beetles just bugging them. Exactly. Continuing the fight back across over here. Obsidian statue now making its way. There goes a quick blast here. Obsidian statue going to get taken down. But what is going to be the remaining units? There are a couple of, well, Tauren getting taken down level 5 on that Cryptlord. And as there are no more ethereal or spirit walkers, no more resurrection on those Tauren, as TeRRoR takes the victory there. very strong gameplay coming in from TeRRoR. Just being able to macro up a large enough army, having the expansion up and running. And even though he lost more gold to upkeep, TeRRoR did end up having more gold mined, and he was able to just trade efficiently. If Hitman was able to trade as well as TeRRoR, he wouldn't have been down 20 supply in that last fight. That's really what we saw there. If you take a look at the overall resource score, the amount of gold mined between the actual difference wasn't all that much, only 1,000 gold. But and you got to remember, at 1,000 gold, there was also, yes, a lot of gold lost to upkeep, but in the same way, at the same time, if the Blade Master and the Shadow Hunter were able to put in a lot of pressure, keep a lot of those units, while stopping them in transit, and things would have been better there. Also, the fact that, well, we never saw a bestiary come in until very late for Hitman, at more of a reactionary bestiary that didn't train up enough units. Things just really went poorly there. Trying to go for the Spirit Walkers to deal with the beetles, and also going for the bestiary, perhaps a little bit too much in terms of trying to diversify your tech. And well, that ended up becoming the issue there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.